2, 1. Hello, family and friends. We are live now. Today, it's a great topic. We have a few guests. We have a few more guests coming on today. But before we start, I definitely want to have a moment of silence for the family and members of the Baltimore Bridge. Some of the family members have lost some lost ones. So I want to have a moment of silence for them. I really appreciate that, guys. It's big because life is precious and we have to cherish it each day because it's a blessing to wake up in the morning, and some people don't wake up in the morning. So, without further ado, we're going to go into the topic. The topic today is real spicy for me. The topic is, should fathers, deadbeat fathers, go to jail or prison for non-support? All right, I have a few questions just to get you guys started, and then you can gather your thoughts and think about what you want to say. Um, the one question is, what does child support create? What happens when a father finds out that a child they've been taking care of for at least 10 to 15 years is not their child, and they've been paying child support, and then they find out this child is not theirs because some type of some action has taken course, and they realize that this possibly couldn't be their child. They thought that was their child, but they come to find out it's not. And who really suffers from child support? Okay, so who wanna tackle it first? Who's first? Who's up for the bat?
Okay, let me ask a question because I'm not really familiar with child support. But let me ask this. Okay, when a woman is not getting child support or support from the father, she goes to the government and basically fills out paperwork, and then the government is basically working on her behalf. Is that correct? Yes.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
But there comes a time when there's a noise in the background.
Hold on, Dad.
There's a time when the government oversteps its, helping and takes people to jail type of thing when they're not paying. I still hear it.
Hold on.
But okay, is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. Bless you.
Thank you.
I don't like child support. I feel like the parents should be able to come to work together. But I do realize there are deadbeat dads.
That's you, Tanika.
Oh,
That's you.
okay. I'm not gonna say nothing. Let's move to somebody else.
No. No, but it's you though. I'm just saying it's you.
No, I hear it every time I talk. Okay, so if there is somebody that doesn't have the support from the dad and they go to the government and get help, I feel like there should be help available from the government, but there will be a point when what do you do but to say that I can't do anything else. This father is nowhere to be found, and the mother has to take care of this child on her own. Because that's basically what will happen when a father is deadbeat. The woman will have no other choice but to do for herself with her child. So that's why I'm like, I need to understand a different perspective. Okay, I'm done. Let's hopefully hear that noise stop.
Okay. So are we going Judy,
Yes.
how do you feel about it?
Okay, so as someone who I'm divorced. Well, I'm remarried now, but I'm divorced with two children in my first marriage. And from personal experience, had um, I had petitioned the courts for child support only because in my situation, my ex did not take care of his kids. So I petitioned the courts, but in I think maybe 3 or 4 years, I had to keep going back, and nothing ever happened. During all that time, I was, supporting my kids on my own. But then eventually, you know, he came around and he did, and he still does support them. At least my daughter, who is, 15. My son is older now, but I feel like, I shouldn't have to force you, especially if we had children, and it was, planned. My first pregnancy was planned, the second was not, but I was, of course, still married. But I feel like if your father, is your obligation to help support your kids, however that looks, either financially, emotionally, however it looks. You're obligated to support your kids. But I don't think I would force anyone, other than just taking it to court and saying, okay, I need help, I need financial support with your kids. I need, they need to eat, they need a roof over their heads, they need clothing, things of that nature. But other than that, I don't feel like that necessarily that they should go to jail. Because really, what is that doing? Like, I don't know what the purpose of that would be, or what exactly it would do, other than maybe antagonate them even further, and then they don't want to even talk to their kids, or do anything for their kids. So I'm kind of like on the fence with it, because I feel like, I shouldn't have to force you to take care of your obligations, pretty much.
Okay. Lita, what do you say? For before I go at it, Lita, what do you say?
Um, I'm on the same page as T and um,
Judy.
what Judy. Same thing. I shouldn't have to force you to do anything, and I have my kids. I didn't have to do any of that except for with one, and with the one, he took out child support on himself. And I'm going to tell you why. We came to a mutual agreement that he would pay a certain amount, and he felt like he was paying too much. And he just, oh, well, I'm not going to keep paying this, and da 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 da. We just going to go downtown and da 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 da. So my thing was, I don't want people in my business, because child support get in your business. They want to, oh, well, digging this and digging that. I don't like people being in my business. You're going down there getting these people, they want to investigate this, investigate that. They wasn't in there when you was doing your business anyway. So why you got to bring all these people in your business? Y'all know what y'all laid down and did. So why you can't come to a mutual agreement on what to pay? So we came to that agreement, and he looked at stupid when he went down there anyway, because the 150 that we agreed to weekly came up to, in the end, he made himself look stupid. He ended up having to pay, I think it was 300 a week after that. I was like, now see, you should have kept your stupid mouth shut. I was like, because now you looking dumb. I was like, we had already agreed to something less. So I just agree that we should, people should be able to come to an agreement mutually. You don't need everybody in your business. You're two consenting adults. You can talk about it. You don't need everybody in your business with that.
Sean, what do you say so far, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. As it relates to deadbeat, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a deadbeat dad is not going to do anything. I think it more so affects those dads that's really trying, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. It devastates them, and so it causes a lot of them to not be able to recuperate, and they suffer a lot. I can attest personally. I was married at 22 years old, had 4 kids from my wife, was there trying to support the situation. It just didn't work out to the best. Love my children, right? I would have had many more, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out to that degree. And the situation was volatile, so I had to get out. So it was a situation where I left, and then I filed for the divorce. So, but however, the support situation was, it was just became more devastating because it was like it was a vendetta, and it became worse and worse. So it was like, all right, so since I have someone that's in power that can cause, damage, because they it's like utilizing, and so yeah, I mean I look at it as that, and typically, like I said, a lot of other people have situations where, like you said, you're speaking on having not being their children or things of that nature. No, that's a little messy with certain situations. But I think the most that suffers the children. And God bless me because my children love me and I love them, and we're extremely tight, right? And I'm still dad. I go to the school. My daughter, I kind of, I'm a little bit more with my daughter. I'll take her food to school and, just do all of the ultimate things that I can do. Valentine's Day, I'm sending her flowers, giving her flowers, whatever. Right. So, but emotionally, I got that part, but it's like, it's like, oh, I need more money from the situation of their parent. Is because I need to take trips to Mexico, and I need to take all of them, and they need to go to Puerto Rico. And I'm just like, well, I understand all of that, but that should be on your dime, not on my dime. And I think you should be fiscally, more intelligent if you got 4 children. So.
All right. I'll listen to everybody. So I'm saying that, as a father of 2, I did support my children 100%, but I did pay child support. And the reason why we on this topic today is because that is a scenario. What happens is there are fathers out there that do not take care of their children, and they put a warrant out for their arrest, and they arrest them. Now, how can you arrest somebody that's supposed to? It's his responsibility to take care of his children, right? But you're saying that the government says that, okay, you don't want to pay this order that we have for you. So first, we'll take your license. Second, we'll put you in jail. Put them in the jail is going to do what? Because when they go to jail, right? When they go to jail, jail or prison, if they're in there long enough, they have to pay the courts. They have to pay, and then they come out. It's a debt that they owe, and that debt is something that does not require you to go to jail or prison, but they do that. And that's why we're talking about child support. Also, you got to think about this. We talk about who is being hurt the most, the children. We as parents can do only what we can do, as much as we can, what I'm saying? Mother or father, what I'm saying? You have to look at the circumstance, because sometimes people lay down and they don't want to be with that person. But then when they see that the government says, you know what, put them on child support. You can't come to a mutual understanding or agreement. So now they say put them on child support. The child support is to support the children. But what do they really support their children, or they support some of the things that they're not supposed to do? Because 17% for one child, 25% for 2 children.
Yeah, I seen a report last week, and I don't mean to cut you off, Dennis. Marlon Wayne's baby's mother, and I forget the exact figure, but it was ridiculous. She was saying that she couldn't support her child on I maybe I'm getting the figure right. Everybody know what he worth, but she said she couldn't support the child on the income that he on the support that he was giving her. I think it was like $18,000 a month. So she wanted to up it to $28,000 a month. And I'm like, she need to knock it off. And let's just be clear, they have a 1-year-old, I think it was. And I was like, what? Well, how much you need to support a 1-year-old?
That,
I was
that
like, so I'm trying to be clear. Is do you need child support or you need support for yourself?
and that's the thing, that's the thing. What people don't understand, whether it's a man or female, because listen, I was talking to somebody and they mentioned this. That's how I came up to this topic. Think about some of the fathers that pay child support, right? They good fathers, but they still go down there and they say that's not enough. I'm talking about the government says that's not enough about what you're giving, and you're doing more. So if you're giving $600 a month and you're doing everything you're supposed to do, your son or daughter, and after that, you're right there supporting. And guess what? The government says that's not enough. You're not doing enough. Like, who is it really for? Because the system has to be paid. Who's going to pay them for putting in the petition? Who's paying them? And who's paying for that service? Because that's right or wrong.
It's ridiculous. There's no
Huh?
way that a child requires ridiculous, because a child does not require $18,000 a month to be, for their physical needs, and even a roof over their heads or clothes on their back. If they want the best sneakers or the best everything, $18,000 a month is to me, it's ridiculous. And a lot of the women, I believe, typical, but some women who do that, like, it's for them. It's for their lifestyle. It's for what they've gotten used to as being, the parent of that child. They're expecting to be supported by these men. And a lot of the reasons why I think some of them have kids with these men is because they know that they're, well off and they're wealthy and they can, get them for child support, and then use money to maintain their life. Really, it's all about them. It's never about the kids. And it's really sad because, I feel a lot of women do that, just to get money from these men. Even if they're not with them anymore, they figure, oh, if I get a kid with them, they're going to have to support that kid for at least 18 years. So that's 18 years of income for me, that I can do whatever the hell I want. I can live basically off these men, which is disgusting to me. That's just my opinion.
It's very, just look at that. And I was discussing with Dennis last week about the Drea Michelle case. Drea Michelle's son is I believe he's 21 and 2. And that means her son and the friend, she was the babysitter, and she's 39. So she got pregnant by the son who plays for the Houston Rockets, and having a baby by the son's friend, and getting ready to get child support from this dude. I was like, that's just ridiculous. She preyed on that little boy.
But here's the thing. Look when you look at who it is us. Whether they famous or not is somebody that's black, and they have the ability to do that. Whether they famous or not, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it should not be up to them saying, or what we're going to give. I said, so whatever you like, if whatever you're making is 17%. So if you're making a lot of money, it's 17% of whatever you're making for one child. That's what you're going to get. So if you're making 100, you're getting 17% of 100. If you're making 200, you're getting 17%. So, and they see that and they look at that and they say, okay, you know what? This is what I'm going to get. So you know what? Let me go in here and maneuver and get in here. And the government says, yeah, it's okay. Whether they stay together or not, they could care less, because at the end of the day, they're gonna get paid. They're not doing this for free. They're not doing it for free. So when somebody famous coming in, they got to put the child support order on them. Guess what? They know, okay, yeah, you got to pay this. But like I said, who's paying for that service? Because it got to go through a system. And that, when it
Wait,
goes
so
through that system,
are you saying tax paying people, our tax dollars are kind of like what I'm confused. Who's getting paid? Is the government getting paid for the child support part? Is that what you're telling me?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they get a percentage of it.
Yeah, bag on Skippy. Yeah.
So
When you late and all that type of stuff, all that interest it incurs. That's a charge.
Mm-hmm. They know they listen, they not doing something. Look, that's not to really focus on the family. No, they say, okay, we're gonna do this. How can we get money out of this system? How can we get money out this order that we did? Because that's what they're doing. That's what they're saying. Okay, well, that because look, the government will still give women that don't know what a baby father had assistance.
Yeah.
They'll still get them assistance.
yeah. So
You know
look, let me ask this. I think that the government, the systems that we have in place are not there for our Black men. I've always said this, and I do believe with this conversation of me learning all about child support, this sounds exactly like the government being against the Black man. You know, we don't really have women going trying to get child support and it's not given to them. But, you know, when it comes to the man part, you know, you hear about men going to jail for it. Okay, I get that. Now I understand. I feel like the government is trying to hold back. I will say it, the Black man. This is just another way, because if you're having, you know, fees and you're going to jail and then you incur more fees for that Black man to pay the government, like, huh?
They need to first establish paternity before they even do that. Because if I go downtown and say, hey, let's just say Dennis is my son's father, and make all these allegations, this, that, or whatever, and he's owed back $10,000 child support, how are we going to prove that Dennis is the father? They going to just throw him in jail first and then ask questions later? No, we need to approve establish paternity first and then do that. But no, they're going to throw him in jail, then go through the motions of establishing paternity, and then they'll establish paternity. And then what if it says that he's not the father? You see what I'm saying? Then they ain't gonna say, oh, well, I'm sorry. They just gonna make the mother pay the money back.
You know, I have
The mother doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah, I'm not sure how true this is, but I have heard that if there is, you know, if a father signs the birth certificate and then later on he decides 5 years later that he wants a paternity test, and then he finds out he's not the father, he still has to pay child support.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know that, Lena?
On the birth certificate?
I did not know that.
Yeah, if he signs it.
If he signed it in the beginning, right, and don't get a paternity test, and then 5 years later they say he want to find out this is child, he still got to pay child support.
Yep.
That's
And that birth
bogus.
certificate, which is crazy, which is, you know, you should
But you
establish paternity first before you do anything.
But you see how it works against us. It's not.
Yeah.
It don't work for us. But now listen to this. Here it is that I was saying to you guys earlier. If let's say he didn't sign a birth certificate, but he been taking care of the child, right? And he finds out this is not his child. He been paying for 10 years. The woman don't have to pay the money back.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's it. They now, how is that fair? How does that make any sense? You mean you been when the child comes into the world, you like a man, a real man, be like, oh my goodness, this is my son, this is my daughter. Oh, yeah. And then you find out that this is not your child. You've been taking care of all this. They don't make the woman do nothing. Oh well, you can walk away, or you can still say, take care of the child. Like,
And 9 times out of 10, the woman be knowing, and it's just like, oops, well, I'm sorry. It's not, oops, I'm sorry. Girl, you knew. You knew. Unless she was just like really out there, 9 times out of 10, we know.
Right.
We know.
Not unless you're really out there doing the most with the most. Yes.
and there are men in jail, prison for non-child support. And nobody, some people are afraid to speak about it, talk about it, but it's things like this we should be talking about it, because at the end of the day, it's they talk about, women talk about how it should be where the good men at. Some of them they locked up because of this foolishness. You know what I'm saying? They locked up because they said, oh, you don't want to pay child support? Okay, lock you up 6 months, 9 months, a year. You know what I'm saying? What's that noise? That's TV. Somebody got TV going on.
No, it's the background. It's like an echo of you when you talk.
It's your echo when you talk.
Well,
It's me.
everybody put on mute when somebody's talking. Let's see what happens. But look, I do have a question before I mute. Okay.
Go ahead.
You are the only one that spoke about it as if it really happened to, it really did happen to you. So what do you look at it as a person that went through it? What do you see this whole system, how, if it's beneficial, do you think of it as it's not necessary? What do you see it as your opinion with, the experience that you had?
I think the system is broken. It definitely needs to be fixed. Something needs to be done because it's not fair. It's not fair to our people, our culture, how they make it for us, make it difficult, sometimes for the men to do what they do want to do. But I think that it really is biased. I think it's biased, but I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to force anything on anybody. If I think that, if you had a child with me, I just do what you're supposed to do as a man, as a father, as a husband, or ex-husband. Do what you're supposed to do. Be there for your kids, support your kids, and but the funny thing is, I always said that that no matter what my ex did or whatever he didn't do, I wasn't going to involve my kids in it. I was going to let him see them whenever he wanted, which he could pick them up anytime. Our support order never actually went through the court, but it was never like finalized by the court. But, in that I had told him he could pick up the kids anytime he wanted. He could see them anytime he wanted. It didn't matter if he paid me child support or not. I wanted them to have a relationship with their father. So, that's what he did. But he didn't really take full advantage of that, because then he moved to South Jersey and I was in North Jersey, and he didn't take full advantage of that. But eventually the children, saw for themselves who he was. And then, he started to change it. He started to think, oh, wow, my kids think that I'm, kind of a deadbeat. Like they see that, my daughter would ask for something. And I say, oh, why don't you ask your dad and see what he says? She's like, no, he's going to tell me no. Like the mindset already was like, okay, he's not going to do this for me. And she knew that I would. So, and I think that's really, that's really sad. So eventually the kids see how their parents are parenting them, and they go from there. But I never, badmouth him, around them. And of course I talk to my girlfriends, and, my family and stuff like that. But I make sure that I never put him down in front of them or make them think that he was, not there for them or deadbeat. I was like, I would encourage them to really build a relationship with him. But, I think, like I said, the system is broken, and it definitely needs, some laws revised and things, put in place to help people like us in our culture, and to get better, instead of just saying, okay, just because you're not paying child support or whatever. What like Janet said, if you put somebody in jail and not paying child support, how are you going to get that paid? They're not working, they're not, and our tax dollars are paying for you to be in jail, and then it's like an endless cycle to me.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, definitely. Didi, you want to say something?
Yeah, in North Carolina, they do have mediation, where after he took the child support out on himself, we were able to go to mediation to get it back down to reasonable amount to where he could pay it. But like I told the judge, I was like, I never wanted to be in this predicament anyway. I never wanted to come in a courtroom to sit down and talk about this. This is our personal business. I was like, we had it at 150 a week. I shouldn't have to tell this individual how to take care of his child. And I mean, I think he paid child support up until she was 14 years old. And I agree with you, Judy. And then when she turned 14, he gradually just stopped paying, and she started to see how he was. You see what I'm saying? And so she's what, 20, she just turned 21 this year. She don't even deal with her dad. She stopped dealing with him, and so now he continues to text me, and where is my daughter? What is she doing? I mean, she's down in Florida now. I mean, she doesn't communicate with her dad because she's just like, she sees how he was. I mean, progressively you stopped supporting her when you was 14. I can't make her talk to you. I mean, you were only paying child support as it was. You would come around here or there, but you were basically never in her life anyway. I mean, I was the only parent that really ever knew her, but I never denied him access to her. He could always come and see her wherever. I don't care if it was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. He always had access to his daughter. I never blocked him. He had a phone. I couldn't make her communicate with him though.
So here's something else for you guys too, Tanika. Look, when you guys went to court, right? And they said the father had to pay child support. It's for you too, Sean. Watch this. I'm gonna show you why the system does not work for us fathers. And the ones that are good, and even the ones that's bad. Guess what? They say you pay child support, you pay a certain amount of money. How much time do they give us to spend with our children? We pay all this money. How much time? You know what they tell us? They say you can get them every other weekend, or you can what? I'm gonna pay all this money, and you're gonna tell me I only could spend 3 days, 2.5 days with my kid, and I gotta pay all this money, and because they live with their mother, and guess what? That's all the time the fathers have to spend with their children. Stop it. And if you think that's what I'm saying, so and there are some people in the world, they think that paying child support is that's the answer. It's not the answer, because guess what? Look what they tell us. They say, yo, oh, you paying child support, so now you only can see your kid 3 days out of a week. They go to school over here, but you only can spend 3 days with them. Come on, talk to me.
Well, I just wanted to say something real quick. So that's why it's advised that you seek proper counsel. So, when you are dealing with certain situations, you want to seek proper counsel, because you can have joint support, whereas you get them every week, you know what I'm saying, and they live with you. So if the father is capable or has his own independency, which most fathers do not, right? They have their own independency, then you can say, hey, I'm gonna get them this week, you're gonna get them that week, right? So that basically when I was going through my situation, that was what they were saying. It was like the more time that you get, the less in support you'll have to pay. So if you technically look at it, most of the men that's paying a lot of money just fail to get their kids. So in replacement of getting your kids, you're paying the money. And so generally I was like, look, give me the kids, because I don't mind paying the money. I'll pay the money and get the kids, because I don't even really care. The money is just a byproduct, but my children's life was the main thing that I wanted. So my main thing is, in order to change certain things, you just have to give people the proper information. And on top of that, we should have more people in those fields, like the legal fields, like fighting for laws and litigations and changing things as well.
Right. Yep. That's about
okay. I do know somebody. There's a situation where I know somebody that had a baby with a man who has several children, and he disappeared. I mean, completely disappeared out of her life. And So she does not have any way to get in contact with him. I could see that, child support with the government to help her situation, where he would have to be penalized, because if you're intentionally disappearing, damn well you made a baby. I feel like there has to be some type of repercussion. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So we don't hear that often, but those are real. And I know somebody personally. It just came to me like, okay, I just remembered somebody I actually know. And it's very sad that, they're still having to try to find this person, and he does not want to be found. He's making it very obvious.
All right.
Everything changed.
Mm-hmm. All right. So look, just real quick, everybody, I want everybody to answer this because this is real quick. Lita, Judy, and Sean, listen. What is jail for and prison? What is the purpose of that?
You mean generally?
What is the purpose of it? Jail and prison. What is it for?
It's like, I think it's a form of punishment, but it's
for what?
Also
for what? For what?
For whatever law was broken.
Law or crime?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's basically for crime, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So not taking care of your child is a crime. And now, don't get me wrong, I am not for deadbeat fathers. I'm not for that. But I'm trying to open up people understanding. Look, but because of, man, like what you said, Sneaker, because he disappeared, they find him, they lock him up for a debt that he owe. The debt he owes is to take care of his child. That's a debt. It's not a crime. Prison and jail is for people who break the law and go to jail for a law they have broken. That a person that does not take care of their child has not broken any laws. But they're saying, oh, you not paying child support. Guess what? We're gonna arrest you. You can't leave the country. So because you can't leave the country, that's one thing. They say you can't leave the country if you owe child support.
So I just want to speak on that real quick, but so the crime that they're committing is that the government is paying money and they don't have to pay money. So you're supposed to be paying your own money. So you're committing a crime.
What crime?
You're stealing from the government because they're paying for your duties.
Oh, you said we stealing or now? So hold on. Now,
I mean, if the government is paying out of their pocket, which is not an entity,
but
it had no coverts to that situation, then that's theft. If I come inside your house and I had no, and it's your money and I take it from you, that's theft. So you're technically stealing.
Who's stealing?
The man is stealing from the situation because she's needing support. She's getting it from the government. The government is therefore assisting.
There you go. That's key word. See, that's called assistance. That is not stealing. They're offering up assistance for a father that is not present, because that's what it is. A father that's not present.
So you saying if it's not his responsibility, it's the government's responsibility?
No, it's not.
So if the government pay it, then you're saying that he shouldn't be liable for it?
Not to go to jail. No, not. He should pay it back. Yes, it's a debt. Do you when you owe a credit card, do they lock you up for a debt? Because a debt is a debt.
When you owe IRS, they lock you up. See, we talking about the government. We're not talking about companies. See, they enforce what they're gonna do. So you gotta understand you pick your poison. You gotta pick your poison. You gotta understand that if you're playing with the government, just like when you play with the government, when you break the law, say, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna drink and drive. You playing with them, so you have to understand the
concept. All right. Now, when you said the IRS, now watch this. The IRS and child support is two different things. The reason why they're two different things because you have to pay taxes, and if you do not pay your taxes, that is a law that we got to pay taxes. If you working under the table on the books, you got to pay taxes. So that's a law. If you don't pay taxes, right, you broke the law, you go to jail for breaking the law. First you got to pay. Okay, you got to pay the taxes. If you can't pay the taxes, they throw you in. But
they're the same people that you got to pay.
But guess what?
The government.
But What's the government? The taxes?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, it's all the government is paying. So whether it's IRS, which is a different entity, or child support, which is a different entity, right? They're businesses. They're just different names. It's
Okay.
IRS, it's the government, it's whomever, right? You
Right.
still have to pay these people.
Okay.
It's like a
So-
ticket. So they're not as strenuous with a ticket, but they can lock you up for a ticket. It depends on what state you're in. If you're in Virginia, if you don't pay your ticket in Virginia, when you come to Virginia, they're gonna lock you up. So it's just all in how the systems is, and you just gotta know that.
And when you get a ticket, right, for something like that, you have broken the law. Whether it's a parking ticket, you broke the law. So see, you get what I'm saying. So no laws. There's no law that says if you don't pay child support, you go to jail. You know what it is? It's their punishment for a person. That's what it is. It's a punishment. That's because there's no law. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. If there's a law that says that you don't pay child support, you go to jail. No, that's the punishment they offer you. They're going to give you. But before they get to that level, it's levels to that. Though. They don't just lock you up for that. First, they take your license. And I just found out that I was telling you, Sneaker, I just found out that now some states they won't take your license no more.
Yeah, they're getting better with it. But
Right.
I'm just saying, technically, what I'm saying is you're owing them money. You see what I'm saying? So, and it's not, see, it's a little bit different. If the woman is paying everything, like if she's not getting any government assistance, like Medicaid and all that type of stuff, then it's a little bit different. But when you're utilizing, government assistance, they're like, look, that's our money. Government ain't paying for nothing. So they're like, look, you pay me or you not. Or you won't get incarcerated.
But now watch this. Hold up, watch this. Okay. Look, you're gonna get incarcerated, right? They're gonna put you in prison. You owe 80,000. Let's watch this. You owe 80,000, right? Me and you ain't we never been in prison. We never been in jail. So I can speak on that unless you have. Have you been in jail? I ain't been either, right?
Me and jail don't work.
We either. Word up, me it don't work, right? But I can tell you this though. I do know family members that have, and they tell me, listen, when you go to jail or prison, right? You have a debt before you go in there. It's 80. When you come out, you got another debt. Okay? So guess what? How is it that you go in with a debt and your debt is greater when you come out? Because you're gonna owe more money. You do know that, right? Yeah.
And that's what. So you got to remember, everything varies from state to state because different locations and they have different laws and different jurisdictions on how they do.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. That's true. But I think in the whole because guess what? If you owe child support, right? In the United States, it's state to state. So they won't do is they won't mess with you. But if the state that you have owed child support, they want you to come back, they can expedite you to that state.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? They can tell you, oh, we want him. He owed child support. Okay, they hold you, and after they hold you, they expedite you back to that state, to the borderline of the two states, whatever. But so that's what we talk about because like that's unfair, it's unjust to just say, oh, you owe, what I mean, you just go to jail for something that is just going like Lita said, it's going to be an ongoing thing. It's going on cycle.
Yeah, it's going to be an ongoing thing because I don't mean to cut you off, Miss Judy, because I remember it was a couple of years ago as this guy up in New York, he hit the lotto. And I don't remember how many kids he had or whatever, but he never paid child support.
Wow.
Here we go with this debt thing. Child support. Government gonna get theirs off the top. All that child support he owed, they got that off the top. So I forgot how much he had hit in the lottery, but all that child support that he owed, all his baby mamas, they got paid too. I was like, oh my God, why couldn't I be in that number? Because he had hit a large number. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, wow. Imagine hitting the lottery and never paying child support. They got theirs.
Yeah, they do take your money for that. But I was gonna say, I have a girlfriend who lives in South Carolina, and her ex-husband, they had he's now 13. Her son, he did not pay in, I think, almost 2 years. He did not. He's an ex-cop. He's like arrogant as hell, thinks that he's above the law for everything. So he moved to Virginia with his new girlfriend. So he figured that, he doesn't have to pay, he doesn't have to do anything. He hates her, like, I don't know why, but he hates her with a passion, right? He even told her that he wished she would just die.
Mm.
So she filed her petition, took him to court. They served him when he came to pick up his son in South Carolina. And when he got the court date, he felt like he didn't have to go, he didn't have to do anything. Like, he's arrogant, like I said. So finally they got him down here for the court date. He had owed like maybe $7,000 or $8,000 in back support, and they asked her if she would accept a certain amount. It was a low amount, less than $1,000. She said no. They locked him up. For people like that, I think that, maybe the jail would be, good for them, because like I said, he refused to pay, and it wasn't like he could not pay. He refused to pay, did everything he could to avoid paying for his son. For people like that, maybe jail will help them.
All right, so look, so you said that justifies him going to jail, right? Because he didn't want to
because
watch this. Hold on.
Sure.
All right, and I'm not I'm not saying that's cool. That's not cool. But watch this.
Mm-hmm.
We looking from our lens, but we're not looking at the bigger picture. Here it is. I said to somebody before, yes, that there's something that he have to do, take care of responsibility. But now watch this. What happens? Nobody's looking at this. They go to jail. Something happened. They get killed in there. What happens to that? What happens to that debt?
I don't know what happened to the debt, but I'll tell you, he came up with that money. He spent a week in jail, and somehow he magically came up with that damn money and paid it. So,
and guess what? We all believers. So we look, and this real talk. Like people like that, right? In this world, what goes around comes around. That's a real term. What goes around comes around.
Definitely has to.
I listen. You're not gonna get away forever. Your pain and suffering will come. So when the fathers that don't take care of their children, that's what they're gonna suffer. Their children can be. Listen, their children can. It's hard to see that in the beginning, but when their children get older and they successful, they making all this money, and guess what? They not doing too well. They want to come along and say, "Oh, hey son, hey daughter." They like, "Who is you?" That's what God say to us. When it's time for you get down and you for God help me. God says, huh? I don't know you. Who is you? You want me to come to you now and all this time? That's how we should be. Huh? What? I'm famous now. No, I don't know you. Who is you, Dad? Who is you, Mom? I don't know you. You wasn't there when I was. Look, you and the child. If they become successful, they say, look, listen. When I didn't have no food and my mother was there, I don't know you. And that, trust me, I promise you this. I didn't go through that, but I know that pain right there is unbearable, man. Your child, when you go to your child and you down, let's say you be on your deathbed, your child, you want to, man, I just seen so many shows. They like, I'm not going to see that lady or that man. No, who is that? He not my father. No. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? To his soul, it crushes him. But he gonna leave. He leaving like that because that's what he did. That's the hurt he caused. You know what I'm saying? That's the pain he caused. So guess what? He got to suffer. They don't get. Listen, trust me. Jail ain't the answer. God to take care of them. We and I know the women saying, "Man, I went here that that's for God. Now I went here that I need money. God, I need money, right? Right? But guess what? It all goes back to we had a couple of sessions. It's choosing the right man, and so you don't have to endure that. You know what I'm saying? Laying down with the right person. You know what I'm saying? Having a lifelong partner. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't take that chance. They don't take the opportunity to really get to know a person, and they just lay with somebody, and then that happens. So we go back to that. You know what I'm saying? And look at that. Don't just point the finger and say the man. Nah, look. It's two people. They chose to make a pact, lay down with one another. And guess what? Now they didn't think about the consequences of the actions, and now they got a child. Now that man is not going to be there. He said, "I'm out of here. I don't want to have a child with this person. I don't want to spend the rest of my life with her." And here we go. Now we back and forth, but we go back to, you know, it ain't really happening. And I'm sorry to say it, but it's not really happening to white people. It's not really happening to Spanish people because you know they stick together, bro. They're like, yo, they stick like in packs.
But that is, you know, that's true in some situations. But again, like for me, I was married at 22, like Sean was. I was married young, and we planned our first child. The second one was kind of surprised, but we planned our kids. And then afterwards, you know, we decided, you know, you didn't want to be married. You wanted to be out there. You want to live a single life as a married person. So, you know, it wasn't like, you know, I felt like I chose the wrong person to marry. I was married for a long time. I was married almost 17 years. So, and that ended. But, you know, it's neither here nor there. You know, sometimes it's not just the partner, it's that person. Like, you know, you could think you have the right person, but then that person turns out to be a jerk. Because sometimes when money's involved, people get messy. Things get messy and crazy. Like, you know, it just happens.
I agree with you. And that's exactly what I was going to say. You know, you never know how a person's going to change. And even when you're married to them, you did all the right things, and all change one day. And that is unfortunate. But the thing is that we need to do better in our community to, you know, help each other in our own community. And that's what is the key. It's like our men and our women are not connected again, like how we used to be, in love and connected in a way that is strong. You talked about the Spanish people and how they're like tight. Yeah, we used to be that way, but now we're fighting each other. We're always in competition. Everything is just totally just, you know, disconnected. And once we come back to loving each other the way we are supposed to as Black people, because that Black love is power that even the white people know, and they are really afraid of us. They are sitting up here looking at us and wanting us to be disconnected. Once we get back to who we are and who we're supposed to be, I feel like, you know, we're just going to make this world a better place for real, because that Black power is beautiful. That's all I'm going to say, y'all.
I
And
agree.
statistically, me, you know, working for a government agency, we're gonna go ahead and throw some statistics out there.
Hold on, leader, be careful.
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay,
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Right.
You don't see a Ramirez or a Garcia or none of them filing a child support case.
Oh, you're right.
You see what I'm saying?
Look, 1%, maybe.
Maybe 1%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when we talk about child support cases, it's mostly us.
Yeah.
And then the rest, you know what. So it's crazy how they stick together. And they'll stay all in the house together.
Yep.
But we ain't going to do that. We just not finna do that. We want you out as soon as they can. And it's just like they'll go through the drive-through and they'll say, "Oh, well, this all together." But we come through the drive-through, "Oh, we got 5 separate orders." Cuz we ain't paying for we ain't paying for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
And look, and I think that's a culture thing, because like the way the world's going on right now, yeah, like Tanika said, it's everything is competition. I got to do better than you instead of being encouraging and uplifting one another. Say, oh man, I'm glad, like Sean, I'm happy you doing that, man. How you get there? Nah, like, man, I'm gonna do better than Sean, man. He think he better than me. Look, that's what they say. Oh, he think he better than me. He light skinned. He think he better than me. You know what I'm saying? He look better than me. But what you mean? Nah, bro, he doing success. He's successful. Hey, big him up. You, Sean Graves doing real good. Nah, it's not that. It's like people look at us, and when you be successful in it, like, oh, they think you better than it. No, it's not that. It's just we do. Look,
Yeah, because they working and they sending money back home to their family. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got a guy who works with me. He working and he's sending money back home to his family, and he make about as much as I do. And I'm like, dang. So you just sending money back home?
Well, you know, the interesting part about that, the Africans do that too. It's just the African Americans don't. I was working at a place, and this African had a wife, and he had 10 kids. And I would wonder why he would work. So every time overtime came, he would work it. I was like, why do you work overtime every time? He was like, because as soon as I get a paycheck, I send my money to Africa for my mother and my father. Before I even take it out, before my wife and us and our 10 kids. So no, we have that. We have that. We just got to get back to the basics.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's why I'm trying to bring people together. You know what I'm saying? I got, listen, this was great today. You guys came on, supported, but mostly, I mean, listen, I got more people coming on next week. I got a group of people coming on next week, different topics, and just like, trying to encourage people, because right now I just share with you guys, there are people that have subscribed. I don't even know who subscribed. You know what I'm saying? I can't see who subscribed. So that's why I'm mindful of the things that I say, how I present it, because I do not know who's watching, and I don't want to be a discouraging a person. I want to be encouraging. So we talk about this topic because I want people to be encouraged to take care of their children, not to walk around and say, you know what, I deal with it when it happens. No, take care of your children. Take care of your wives, your girlfriends, and make them your wives. You know what I'm saying? Get to know them, because at the end of the day, communication is key. Most people don't understand that. Communication is key. You got to be able to communicate with your spouse. You got to be able to communicate with your baby mother. You know what I'm saying? It's important to do those things, even when you don't want to. Because at the end of the day, you're grown now. You have lived your life. Now it's about the children that's coming into this world. You have to be mom and dad to them. You know what I'm saying? They need that support. You know what I'm saying? Without that support of mom and dad, guess what? They'll be lost. They need both parents. They ain't coming here in this world with just one. They came with two. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to share that with y'all guys, because I have a lot of subscribers. Some family, but it ain't that many. You know what I'm saying? It's 140. You know what I'm saying? And more is going to come. So that's why I do positive things. I don't really do negative things, because that's not what I'm trying to, do. I'm not talking about nobody. I'm not, being negative, talk about what's going on in the world. I care less. You know what I'm saying? It's about, encouraging people, trying to, educate them on having a successful marriage or a successful relationship, and pushing positivity. You know what I'm saying? That's my energy. It's positive, not negative. You know what I'm saying? And everybody on this platform is just that, positive, working, doing their due diligence every day. You know what I'm saying? Sean, Judy, Tanika, and Leah, y'all work hard. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your families, and and that's key. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you guys came on today. You know what I'm saying? I know Sean said he had to leave at 7:30. So, Sean, it was a pleasure, man, to have you out here with us, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and attack these ladies before they leave. All right, bro.
Pleasure meeting everyone, and thank you guys. I look forward to meeting you again. And thanks again.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Sean.
Nice to meet you, Sean.
Nice to meet you, Ms. Lita. And look forward to seeing you guys again. All right.
Yes, likewise.
Take care. God bless.
Care. God bless.
Hey, look, Judy,
Uh-huh.
Judy and Lita, I'm gonna jump on y'all real quick. Look, not that this ain't bad. I just want to jump on y'all real quick. All right, look. So, do you guys feel like child support creates resentment, unloved behavior, rebellious behavior, unbalanced structure of what a real happy family should look like?
You can go ahead first, Nita.
You want me to say it again, Lita?
I'm just gonna always stick to what I don't think. If two people lay down and have a kid,
Mm-hmm.
child
Uh-huh.
support should not be any kind of issue at all. Y'all know what y'all need to do as parents. I didn't have that with my I'm gonna put an example with my 17-year-old son. Me and his father, we were almost married, but we have the perfect relationship with our son. He lives in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and I stay here in Gastonia, North Carolina. But he comes and picks his son up every weekend, and he takes his son with him, and he takes him to work because my son now has a job at Carowinds. He makes sure his son gets to work, and now his son has gotten to the point where, you know, mama can't, tell him nothing. You see what I'm saying? He's got to the point where he wants to, raise his voice and do little stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna call your dad. So, it was a little incident where, you know, I felt like his dad could have rectified it. And so I said, you know what? Uh I was like, I'm gonna need for you to go ahead and go get him. You know what I'm saying? And so next year, my son is gonna go for his junior and senior year, go ahead and finish out the school year with his dad. But that was something we was able to talk about. We ain't had to go to no courts, we ain't had to go to nobody. All throughout my son, like I said, 17. He never paid no child support. He brought his son shoes. He brought his son clothes. My son's been fed. We ain't never had to do none of that. You see what I'm saying? It's always been taken care of. My son ain't never wanted for nothing. Um, People can parent and take care of their kids civilized just like we have for the last 18 years. We ain't never had no issue. We might have had, you know, parenting issues where I might not have liked the way he did this, or might not have liked the way he did that, and he might not have liked the way I did this, but never no issues with money, because I always made my own money. He made his money. And I guess it was an issue where I didn't feel like I needed that child support because I always had a good job. So that's just my opinion on child support. Child support for people who need it, hey, that's your thing. Do your thing.
Okay, all right, okay, all right. Would you want to say something, Hey, Judy?
Yeah, I agree with you, Lita. Definitely, consenting adults. If you have a child with someone, you should not be like, no one should have to chase you down to spend time with them, to take care of them. However that looks for your situation. I guess for everybody, it's a little different. Like for my friend, the one I just told you about in South Carolina, she doesn't make a lot. Well, she did not make a lot of money before. She needed, and she wasn't working. Like then they were married. He took care of everything, and he was really kind of controlling. So her situation was different in that, once she finally decided, and he was abusive. So once she decided that she was going to cut that off, he was angry, and, he didn't want her, of course, he didn't want her to divorce him. But when she finally got the courage to leave and divorce him, then he wanted to fight her and everything. And he had the backing of, because he was an ex-cop, he was a cop at the time, but then, so he left that, and he thought that he was above the law. So I think every situation is definitely different. So again, people should not be, you shouldn't have a kid with somebody and then expect them to do everything for that child. Be the mother and the father. Kids need both parents. I'm all for women who are both, not really, because I say that a woman can't be a father to a child, no matter how much, how good you are, and what a great relationship you have with your child, your daughter, your son. I think kids need both parents. There's a reason why, it was designed this way, for a kid to have a mother and a father. There's a reason why God made it that way. So I don't believe that a woman could be both mother and father. Yes, she could step up and she could take care of certain things that a father would take care of, but a child needs both parents. At least I think so. But again, every situation is different. So however it looks, for whoever's seeking the support or who wants the support, or also my let's share this really quick. My sister-in-law, her and her husband, they were married for 23 years. They lived together maybe 9 months of the 23 years they were married. Now he's filing a divorce, like, because he wants to move on with his life. But she's gonna fight it. She's gonna fight it because he's never really supported his kids. He's kind of like, he's always been the kind of person where you know he just doesn't, he's not the father figure type, but they have 3 kids together and he's never been in their lives. But she also made it difficult for him to be a father. Her mother was always involved in their marriage. Her mother was always there. She lived with her mother most of the time they were married. And I'm like, you married somebody, leave. The Bible says leave your parents and cling to your wife. Like, why are you living with your mother and you're married? That makes no sense to me. So, it like I said, every situation is different. And people are gonna do what they feel is best for them, not necessarily what's best for the kids. And that's the sad part, because a lot of times they're not thinking about the kids, you know.
And just to say something about, like,
Hmm.
piggyback off what you said. Yo,
Hmm.
when women do that, where's their punishment?
That's true.
Where their punishment at?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. They
Mm-hmm.
say, and then I know you, Judy and
Mm-hmm.
Lita. I know you. I've heard of stories like this. Like, some women, get that child support, and guess what? They don't call the courts and say anything about what they do. Like, they'll say, oh, to the father, oh, I'm going somewhere this weekend. You can't come get your son. You can't come get your daughter. I'm not gonna be here. And they sitting right in the house. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't, where's their punishment? Where that, discipline? Y'all know we don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's all, oh, we don't
Mm-hmm.
pay, the deadbeat fathers. But what happens with the women that do stuff like that? Whether the father is famous or just a regular old guy. There's nothing. They don't talk about that. They don't say, oh, you want to do that? Let's throw you in jail because you're not letting the man see his children. We got to go through the ringer if we want to really see our kids, and we got to prove to them that she's always not home and it's my time to get my kids, and she not dead. They get the money, they still be like, you ain't seeing your kids. And so we talk about this right here. It's this, like I said, we said it. The system is broken, and how do we fix it? We start right here by talking about it. By opening up a can of worms, and let people know that, yo, look, it's real. We try our best to do the best we can do with the resources that we have. Some people got to do extra. You know what I'm saying? I was one of the few that listen, I had a great mother, great father, what I'm saying, great supporting family, and they always had my back. So, I was gonna step up to the plate no matter what. My oldest daughter, she married, got her first kid. My youngest one, she's working and doing what she want to do. She really don't want for nothing. So it's not like I'm speaking from a place. I had to pay child support, and when I paid child support, that mother was like, "Yo, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." So it's hard for me to really go see her because she was living in Delaware at the time. I live in New Jersey. So it's kind of difficult, but I did what I could do. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, right now we don't have the best relationship, but, when she come around, I'm here. I'm daddy. You know what I mean? I'll always be here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to keep you guys here any longer. It's been great Judy, I am so blessed to have you on here as you as leader. You too.
Thank you.
It was great. Listen, hey leader and Judy. When I have topics like this, I'm serious. Usually, it goes like almost 2 hours, but it's an hour. This is good. It's been wonderful. I'm definitely going to have you guys come on again. This lead the second time. To leader, look,
She's a
if you ain't
pro.
come on. I know. Look, hey, Judy. If you ain't come, Leader and Tanika would have jumped me. They said, "Oh yeah, we gonna get there. We gonna get that." Leader was like, "Yeah, with my last week." She said, "Where my girl at? How she doing? What she talking about?" I said, "Oh my goodness."
Well, I got some homework for you, Dennis. So, when you and the wifey tonight, y'all gonna watch Tubi, and you gonna watch Child Support.
That's the name. That's the name.
That's the name of the movie, Child
Oh
Support.
wow!
Yeah.
Let me check that out. Hold on. Oh yeah, you got that. Hold
It's
on,
on
child.
Tubi. See, I be having Wood watch all these Tubi movies with me. He was like, "Man, I'm sick of you in these Tubi movies." But
I love Tubi.
yeah, Tubi is a movie called Child Support on there. It's right on the topic, and it's about all the stuff we was talking about.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna dive right into that. Like I said, it was a great to have you guys on here. And you know what? And the main important thing is that I want you guys to be encouraged too. You know what I'm saying? In y'all journey, with your husbands, with your boyfriends, be positive, and just keep doing what you're doing because you're doing a good job. You know what I mean? And God's gonna keep on blessing you.
You too, as a dad.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm now that right there. I'm super dad.
Oh, I knew it was gonna go sweet.
Yeah, I there he go. There he go. All right,
Yeah,
bye
look. All
guys.
right,
See you
all
later.
right. See y'all later. All right,
Bye.
y'all.
See you
Bye
soon.
bye.
Bye.
All right.